Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video we're going to be talking about the last bit of Daredevil Season 2. So we're going to be talking about episodes 9 through 13, which is basically the last third of the season. It's a little bit more than the other 2/3, but still the final part of this season, which I think, now I could be wrong, but I think this is the best part of this season overall. We still have some issues here and there with some characters, but for the most part, pretty good batch of episodes. So it starts out with the Punisher being in prison and dealing with Wilson Fisk, or the Kingpin. And so Kingpin basically sets Punisher out to kill some people, and Punisher doesn't want to work with Kingpin, but realizes he can accomplish his own goals, so we might as well do it. So he does that. He kills a couple people, gets in this really cool fight in this one hall of the prison, and that's a really awesome scene. Really cool fight scene. That was good. And then it resolves in Fisk having them let the Punisher go. Out of prison, completely free. And Fisk's logic is, he'll kill everybody I don't want to compete with, and by the time I get out, I'll be able to do whatever I want. And Punisher's logic is, I'll kill everybody, including you when you get out. So it works out for everybody. And it works out for us because he's out of prison and gets to go do stuff. Unfortunately, he doesn't do a whole lot for the rest of the season. He's got a couple little bits here and there, and the one diner fight scene where he does some shooting and some interrogating and stuff, that's pretty cool, but he's kind of not there for the most part, which is disappointing, because I personally really like Jon Bernthal's portrayal of the Punisher. I do think they wrote him a little bit crazy, but still not bad, and I think as he develops, it'll be good, so I'm really rooting for a Punisher series, personally. I wasn't a big fan of Jessica Jones, and thereby extension, not probably going to be a big fan of Luke Cage's series, but I think Punisher would stand to do really well, so I'd like to see that. Anyway, he does have some cool scenes, and he does come back at the very end to have kind of a cool scene to help Daredevil, but at one point toward the end, you expect it's going to be Daredevil, Punisher, and Elektra kind of working together to go accomplish this task. Doesn't really pan out that way, so it was a little disappointing, but it was still pretty cool. Foggy and Karen, still wishy-washy, still flippy-floppy, still uninteresting, I think, and just kind of like, at this point, we don't need them. And at this point, we don't really have them, which is kind of good for me, because Foggy is going to work at Trinity's law firm for Jessica Jones, I guess. And so that's good. And Karen is now apparently a full-fledged reporter, not just investigative, but she's writing articles and everything, which apparently you can just do. If you're good at finding dirt on people, you just become a reporter. So I guess that's a thing, but who cares? She's gone. She's out of the way. Although by the end of the season, the very, very end, it turns out she's probably going to still be around for a while. So, that's okay. She's not hard on the eyes, so I guess I'm all right with that. And then Elektra. We've already seen her be wishy-washy, and this continues. It's a little more reasonable for her. Turns out she is this bad guy. They don't really ever explain it. They talk about her origins and why the Hand wants her so bad, but it's never really fleshed out. I feel like we could have had a couple more episodes in there to just kind of make it make sense a little bit more. They might be leaning a little too heavily on people knowing things about the comics, which I don't, and I suspect many people don't. So we could have used that, but she's got some nice fight scenes with Daredevil against the Hand. The Hand is in this a lot, so there's a lot of ninjas with swords, and there's a lot of fighting going on, so that's all good. So there's still some issues with the fighting, but for the most part, it's enjoyable, so that's a good thing. And then by the end, toward the very end anyway, Daredevil confesses that he is just in love with Elektra and to her, and she's the one that makes him feel like he can be who he is, and after this thing is done, they're going to leave, and they're going to be together, and that'll be that. And he just basically puts it all out there, and he's going to be with her. She's like, yeah, that's cool, let's do that, and then they go fight, and it doesn't work out. Turns out Elektra dies. Okay, so she dies, and that's that. As far as he's concerned, she's dead. Turns out by the very end, Nobu is dead also. And we'll get to that. And the Hand has somehow found Elektra's body, or took Elektra's body, and she's in this coffin thing that they've showed a few times. Maybe it's a comic thing, but we don't really know. Like, apparently she's going to come back, because Nobu even said there's no such thing as death. So we'll see about that. But basically, as soon as he's done telling her how much he loves her, she dies. I mean, there's fighting in between, but she dies. And then he, by the end of the final part of the episode, he goes to Karen. He's right back to Karen. It's like, come on, man. Pick one. Don't just keep flopping back and forth like everyone else. It's frustrating to me that the characters in this show seem to not have any real motives or direction. It's just whatever suits the story at the time, that's what they all do. So I feel like they did drop the ball a little bit in terms of storytelling. And so anyway, when he goes to talk to Karen, he tells her he's Daredevil and shows her the helmet, and she makes a face, and that's it. So I guess we will find out next season what happens with all of that. Prior to Foggy leaving, though, Matt does kind of tell him to just buzz off, whatever term you want to use that doesn't involve the F word, because I'm trying to keep this clean. He tells him to just fine, go do your thing. I'm going to keep doing my thing. Stop judging me for it. Don't be a turd, you turd. And that's that. So that works out okay. So that's good. And then let's talk about Nobu. So like we found out he already came back from the dead. But their goal is to take out Nobu. They think, Matt and Elektra, they think if they can take out Nobu that they'll stop the hand and it'll be all good. So after Elektra dies, I think it was after. I might be reordering some things, but either way, Elektra dies, Matt's fighting Nobu, and he does this really cool move, and it looks like he's gonna just break his neck or something, but he throws him off of a building with this really cool move with his new sticks, which are really cool, so that was awesome. But turns out Nobu's not dead, he just fell and hurt himself, and he gets back up. And then Stick shows back up, and I gotta say, the character, whether it's believable or not, I don't know, but I like it. Stick says some things and cuts his head off in a badass way, so that was cool. So presumably Nobu's dead for good this time. That's what Stick says anyway. So it all kind of comes together. We lose the two characters that are most annoying throughout the episode. The wishy-washiness is presumably over because there's no more choices. And everybody's happy, kind of, except for Elektra being dead. The Hand are still at work, but Nobu's dead, kind of. So that's a thing. So everything kind of wraps up, but still leaves room for going forward. And as far as the Punisher goes, after the diner fight scene, he does resolve his problem by killing the guy who turns out to be in charge of everything after faking his death. So that's good. And then he has just a little scene at the end where he's just kind of sniping guys as Matt's fighting people on a rooftop. And he's got his Punisher logo and everything. So he's ready to go off and be the Punisher that we know and love. So everything kind of works out. So all we have to do now is to wait and see how the next season goes, and hopefully we'll get a cinematic universe appearance and a new Punisher episode or series. I don't think Elektra probably warrants a whole series, but she could probably stick into the Daredevil series just fine. And she does get an outfit by the end too, a little bit of an outfit. So I was very pleased with this last bit of episodes. I'm curious what you guys think. So let me know in the comment sections below. Wow, it's hard to talk sometimes. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. We'll talk about that, and I guess we'll wait. If you're only watching these videos and not watching like the Flash ones or anything, then we'll see whatever comes next. I'll talk about that unless it's just Jessica Jones, because I don't like that series. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Next video. Next whatever it is.